Hello, and welcome to episode 6 of our FTB Neotech Modpack playthrough. Hope you've all had a fantastic day, morning, noon, night, whatever time it may be for you so far. And without further ado, let's go ahead and dive right into everything that's happened in between episodes. So you'll probably notice that our tech room kind of got a remodel, and that's because I wanted things to be a bit cleaner and a bit easier for me to organize going into the future. And I think with this sort of setup here, things should be pretty easy. Down here at the end of the room, we are going to start curving around because the cave actually sort of buffs out around this next section quite a little bit, and then it dips back in. But I figured this would be a good area for us to sort of stop the room because I don't want it to just keep going on forever, but I don't mind it being a rather large room given, I mean, it's a tech pack, so we kind of need a lot of room for all of our tech. So starting out down here on the bottom left, or I guess just the left in general, this coke oven has never moved spots, and so it's pretty much just gonna remain there. Next up, we have 3 steel compressors, all of which are linked up to this barrel, and the outputs go down below. But it's really simple. You just throw it up top. The only thing I haven't gotten is I don't know how to round robin the results from these pipes, from the modern industrialization pipes. Not quite sure how to go about doing that yet. So until I do, it sort of stacks most of them in one and then a bit of them in another. But either which way, if I need to compress things down, I have plenty of machines to do it in, which is good because this saves us from ever needing a hammer, really. The steam blast furnace, I'm not going to lie, I've not used this thing in quite some time. I know its main purpose at this point is probably to get rubber, but I can buy rubber from shopkeepers, so yeah, it's kind of just been sitting here. I haven't really changed anything on it. The steel, or the steam quarry rather, I do have bronze drills set up in the back. I moved where the inputs and outputs work, so that way there's nothing ugly wiring wise coming off the front. We have our standard large chest, which is getting all the items from the steam quarry. The reason I left this exposed is because occasionally we'll get, like bauxite ore right there, and then I can just throw it into the chest and it'll process through. So any iron, gold, copper, tin, redstone, coal, any of that kind of stuff that we get, we can still throw this into the system and it will process through all the same. This is the end result for all of our resources generated from the steam quarry. Now, obviously, we have quite a bit of tin and copper that's just being made in abundance. So I've had to start breaking these down in blocks. Same thing with redstone. We're just getting way too much of it. And honestly, I should probably go ahead and do this with the coal as well. Um, just to be safe. Because I don't want it to back up in the system. I don't really have a plan for if it backs up in the system quite yet. These can hold about 1,000 items in them, 1,024 or 1,028, something like that. So still a crap ton. If I want to upgrade it, I mean, we have enough gold. I can go get 2 upgrades for these limited barrels and throw them on there, which I think would kick it up to 2,056 or something like that. I'm not sure. So it can be expanded upon. I wouldn't really worry about any of that right now, though. Then we have our sort of one-off machines. So we have the wire mill, we have the cutting machine, and we have this steel mixer. Worst part is I already had this cutting machine filled up pretty much with lubricant, and then whenever I broke it, obviously I didn't think to extract the lubricant, so I just lost all of it. But luckily it's not that hard to get. It's just redstone in here and some creosote oil, which of course we have plenty of that. And then kind of the same thing, inputs go up top, outputs come out the bottom, and that's pretty much all there is to it. Then down here we have a steel macerator. I was thinking about making 2 more, because essentially this will just grind up all the stuff that we need turned into dust for combining in other various means. So for example, we need copper dust to go in the mixer in order to get nickel, copper nickel, copper nickel. That's a hard one for me. Copper nickel. That just doesn't look like the right spelling for copper nickel. Anyways, we get this by combining copper and nickel, obviously. And then we also need this for Invar, which is nickel and iron. Stainless steel, right? So there's a couple different things that require nickel in here. And yeah, we're gonna need a lot of Invar for the next part. I think we'll also need some of this dust here because I think it forms something. I'm pretty sure we need this. Aha, the electric blast furnace. I was about to say, I know I saw this recipe somewhere. So yeah, that will require an electric furnace if we want that, and an electrolyzer, which don't really have any interest in using an electric furnace, given we have a steam furnace and it's much easier to maintain. Now we'll take a look at the back side. This is everything behind the wall. So essentially I just threw up a wall in front of everything that was here. I haven't even fully cleaned up the last design bit yet, but you know, that's how it goes. Here's our fluid input for the steam quarry, and it's essentially just pulling off of our large system of steam boilers or steel boilers, whatever you want to call them. Basically throw in copper, or not copper, coal in the back, and then you're good to go. Speaking of which, I probably should have just done that instead of turning all this into that. And then this will keep everything stocked up. Just pulls out and pushes in, and that's pretty much it. These are 3 pumps. I only have 1 steel because, I mean, I've not run into a problem as far as water goes so far. We have our LV steam turbine set up, as well as everything that it's sort of powering over here with the electric packer and all that. I think I made the electric packer in between episodes because I was like, well, let me go ahead and do this because I was trying to be a smart lad. And I noticed that the electric packer is how you get into pretty pipes. And I was like, oh, well, pretty pipes, that's a, you know, that's a pretty good storage mod. I didn't think about the fact that with the packer, you also get into ME2, right? Or AE2, not ME, AE2. So it's like you unlock the ability to get into pretty pipes at the same time as you unlock the ability to get into applied energistics. It just doesn't make much sense because pretty pipes, while it's a good storage mod, it doesn't even slightly compare to the power of AE2. So, you know, I did start to set up pretty pipes and then had the realization, oh wait, I'm literally getting into a storage mod right now, and one that's much better. So we're just gonna bypass pretty pipes. I like it. I really do like it in the game. Typically, it's the in-between transitional point from the chess monster that we all end up with in the beginning to AE2 or refined storage. Essentially, how it works is you have this crafting terminal that can pull items from any chest that it's linked up to or any storage system that it's linked up to. So ideally, you would have this linked up with a sophisticated storage controller, and that would allow you to access a lot of blocks with a little bit of pipage, if that makes sense. But 2 problems exist with this, and that is that you can't craft from here into the crafting terminal. I know it syncs with JEI, but I don't know if it syncs with MEI. So if we look up furnace real quick, we definitely have enough cobblestone, yeah, in the storage system to work. But if I hit fill recipe, it's not going to fill it in. So one huge drawback here, I'm hoping that MEI integrates well with AE2. I'm sure it will. But yeah, don't waste your time or resources going into pre-pipes. I just want to show this real quick. I do have a setup. If for whatever reason you're absolutely hell-bent on it, the way it works is you click on whatever block you need in here. You can change how many you want to request, and you can request them. It'll send it through the pipes quite literally and give you your coal. And if you want to deposit something, you just shift click it in and it goes. It does go closest first. So like this bottom large chest is the closest chest in the network. So unless you change the priority of that, which I'm not entirely sure how to do. I'm sure if I got back into it, I could tell you. But yeah, unless you change the priority, it's going to go closest destination first. And I believe there is a way to round robin this. But again, I wouldn't waste your time with pretty pipes because you get AE2 at the same time. And while you can go ahead and go into pretty pipes pretty much immediately when you get the packer, I think it's probably going to be more worth it not to reset up your system for pretty pipes, just to, you know, an hour or 2 later, set it up for AE2. Now, all that being said, I also went into Steve's carts. Y'all know at the end of the last episode, we made the the little farm cart, I'm gonna go ahead and tell you it's not worth it. At least right now, we don't have sort of the infinite amount of fuel that I would really like to have in order to have it continuously run. Granted, we could probably take some coal from over there and pipe it into the machine in some way, shape, form, or fashion. But as far as just efficiently farming goes, we get so many carrots from up here. I have vein mining on my diamond all-in-one tool, so I can just come up here and right-click and hold it down, and it'll usually get about 4 plants at a time. Long story short, we just don't need help with farming that much. We get plenty of food to keep our villagers and keep myself very, very happy. So honestly, I wouldn't waste resources, at least on the farming one. The tree capacitor, I don't know why I called it tree capacitor. The tree farming one is excellent, although I'm not gonna lie, since I set up this farming one over here to the side, it kind of broke my tree farm in the fact that now it doesn't place saplings like everywhere like it used to. Matter of fact, it hardly places saplings, and so I'm not really sure what I did to break things. It has plenty of them in there, so it's not like it's just not got the resources there. It has plenty over here. It's just for some reason doesn't want to replant them. So it's a bit of a shame. It is a bit unfortunate. I'll mess with it some more in the future, but for the time being, we just come over here and throw a couple saplings down. It does still cut them all down, but yeah, it just doesn't really doesn't plant them like it used to. But that's okay. Like I said, I'll destroy that whole setup and rebuild it in the future. I'm going to have to anyways, because I'm pretty sure we're going to need the tree farm to fuel one of our future systems once we get into it, which, again, right now I'm just not currently interested in. I'm pretty sure I made the diamond all-in-one tool in between episodes as well and threw all the enchantments on here, but with everything that we've already previously discussed and with having the villagers, most of it should be pretty obvious and easy on how I got it. So Toolsmith is how we got most of our tools. I did end up making a diamond hoe because it's the only tool that none of these guys sold. And then, of course, we got the diamond sword from our weaponsmith over here, which it had lifesteal on it. I've not applied that to the diamond all-in-one tool just because I've not really seen much combat, honestly. That's why I don't have any armor, because I've not really needed any. We also got a cleric master in case we want to get ender pearls, but there is another way to get ender pearls in this pack. You don't have to go the villager route, and I'll explain that here in just a minute. And then I think everything else is pretty much the same. I do have efficiency 4 in there. But basically I just took our previous axe, knocked everything off of it, so it already had mending and it already had vein mining. So as long as you have that initial axe, the time to leaf it or something like that, then you can remove the enchantments how I showed y'all previously using the anvil and a block of obsidian. So yeah, basically I just made a really good tool that can do everything, can vein mine everything for us, and yada yada yada. Not literally everything. You can't vein mine stone or dirt, or well, really you can't vein mine most things, but it works really well when you can use it, and so that's kind of nice. And I believe that may be it. We did convert the rest of our diamonds into actual diamonds using the pressure chamber. So you'll notice we have a full stack over here, plus 64. And that's just everything that we got from macerating our diamonds all the way down and then basically throwing it into the pressure chamber. I don't need this coal in here, but also we're making so much coal from the steam quarry. It's like I don't not need it in there, you know, just to have the system always be able to run. And yeah, I believe that to be it. Let me see. I do already have some of this. So I'm going to go ahead and throw some of this into the mixer. It's a 2-to-1 ratio. So for 24, I would need 48. And then mixer. Because again, I already know that we're going to need Invar in the future. We also need this black quartz, which I can put into a compressor to get it processed. I know we're going to need this in the future, so again, just going ahead and preparing everything as we will end up needing it. My goal for today, however, is to actually push further into AE2. Since I'm not going to do pretty pipes, I still really want to get into a storage system setup that is better than our current one, because currently I just have a big chest. I'm hoping everything fits in it, and then I sort of pull from there. Now, to get into AE2, we're going to have to go through and make this electric mixer, which of course will allow us to make a few other combinations, right? It just has a lot more than the previous mixer does, I believe. Oh, hold on. Because I just saw a thing there. This. It has 4 pages difference, so we can make the Blaze Bloom. If you ever want to know what else you can make in the upgrades, when you get to the mixer tab, you can click over here and it'll tell you, like, see, this is page 1 of 1. So this mixer can do everything that this mixer can, but on top of can also do this stuff. Same thing here. This mixer can do everything this mixer can, but can also do 4 extra pages. So this is Flux crystals, so that makes sense. We're going to need some nether quartz though. Now, the nether is another thing that we may get into today. We'll just have to see how quickly we can get through our other stuff. So more of the goo, which we don't really need right now. Industrial TNT, nitrogen and stuff. Diesel stuff. Silicone dust. You can make endstone out of heavy water. Interesting. If you have stone in here, you can combine it to make more stone? I'm not sure. Maybe it doesn't consume this lava. I don't know. But yeah, so a lot of good stuff that we can make in this new electric mixer. And so we're going to try and do that. And we're going to try and do the meteorite bit for getting started with AE2. But first, let's try and make that mixer. So I'm going to come over here and electric mixer. View the recipe tree. And see if there's anything that I don't have favorited here that I may need to or want to. I think that was just glass there. Yeah, it is. Now it's looking like most things are good and favorited down. I guess not the fluid pipes. Let's go ahead and do that. And that'll expand there. Okay, so that should tell us everything that we need, and this should highlight everything in our inventory. So that's all wonderful and excellent. Let's start pulling out the most complex pieces first, as that will get rid of most of it. How many motors do we need? Is it just the one? Just one motor. Okay, I was about to say, because we can always go buy more motors. That's no problem, no qualm, no big ordeal. And again, as we pull out some of these, it's just going to make things... Do we have to have 10 cables? Because we have silver and all that. We just need paper for the resistors, I believe. Let's see. Is there anything else? We have the copper fine wire. Now we can start pulling out like copper plates, glass. And honestly, that's most of everything that we need there. Get the alloy ingots there. Says we're going to need some more tin, some more steel, and some gold, which really we just need the gold plates. So, and then everything just needs to be broke down. Is that correct? Am I correct in saying that? Because we're going to need some copper wire, a bit more copper wire, I guess I should specify, and so on and so forth. Yeah, so let's go ahead and make everything. Well, let's not make it in there because it doesn't. Oh, shucks. Let's not make it in there because it doesn't properly pull. If we go here, then it should, yeah, just make the 6 that we need. 3, 5. Whoops, I think that made an extra one. Oh, you know what? These analog circuits, I'm pretty sure we can buy those from you. Yeah, so why don't we just do that real quick. I'll throw some of this up here. Probably will need more iron to trade to get a bit more emeralds, if I had to guess about it. 24, how much did they cost? It wasn't bad. 12, yeah, so let's go ahead and get 2 of those. And we just need 1 more? Okay, that's not shabby. That's not too shabby at all. Run over here real quick and grab some more iron out of the system. And I think everybody should be fine and reset on trades over here. We'll see. We do have an Enderman just chilling out up top there. He's fine. There's no need for us to go and bother him. And in just a second, I'll go through... Oh, this way. Oh, hold on. Yeah. I was going to say, I figured there was a couple of you that would be selling it for or buying it for 3 exchange rate. There we go. We just need 1 more of these bad boys. And that'll take out a lot of the overhead of what we needed there. Okay, then let's just throw this back in. And what all are we missing now? We need 1 glass pane. Don't we have glass panes? Yeah, we have this here. Is that the only reason why we needed the glass, was for the glass pane? No, we still need 2 pieces. Okay. And then fluid pipe takes out a lot of that stuff when we add that to the inventory. And I think most of it got pretty well condensed down there. So let's try and craft what we can. We need more tin cables for that, so that'll be fine there. I don't need more than what I have there, I don't think. Yeah, we're going to stick with that. We need our tin sort of processed down, so we'll go look at doing that real quick. I don't have any more pieces over here, or in there, or there, or in there. Okay. Whoops, nighttime. And while we're doing this, while I'm going through making this crafting recipe, I'll go ahead and explain the other portion as far as how you can go about getting a lot of really good mob drops for relatively free. So if you check out the Ender Pearl, you'll notice that you can get it. Oh, sorry, this is uses. If you click on the Ender Pearl, you'll notice that you can actually get this from the Steam Quarry using a ferrocore sword. This thing also has a probability of dropping phantom membrane, spider eyes, slime balls, XP jelly babies, which are used for mob grinding utility stuff later on, which I'll probably get into because it has a mob spawner, and that's just kind of cool. And honestly, the ferrocore sword is not difficult to make. We've already got the ferrocore ingots from getting the primogel goo. And so it only takes 2 of those. You get your sword, you can go throw it into your Steam Quarry and start to get a ton of mob drops. And also, honestly, might prompt me to build a whole nother Steam Quarry because I've been going back and forth on it, but the fact that we're able to get all of these drops for free is really nice. Now, of course, we already have Ender Pearl access through our villagers, but if you don't want to go the villagers route or you're not anywhere near that, then perhaps you can use your Steam Quarry and a ferrocore sword and still get the Ender Pearls you need, because Ender Pearls are going to be extremely useful just across most mods, but also so we can get the elevators. I really like the elevator mod, and that's probably eventually how we'll set up our mob farm, just way up in the sky, and just a system of elevators essentially taking us up. Anywhoosers, let's get on into trying to build the rest of this recipe here. And I need to go throw this compass in the what is it called? Polarizing machine? What y'all know the one I'm talking about from Modern Industrialization, but it requires power. Let's see real quick. It is the polarizer. Yeah, I was right. So we throw the compass in there, and it does this little magic stuff, and we'll get the meteorite compass. And that'll be for AE2. Now, all that's good to go. Ton of Invar dust there. One thing I will say is I don't have a really easily accessible furnace. Both my furnaces are back here. That's okay. That's not going to be able to send it anywhere, so whenever those get done, it will clog up the system, but that's fine. We'll just come back around and grab it. No big problem. And then again, I said we needed to get our 10 sort of compressed down, right? We need 10 of these going in, so we'll just throw 22 in. And then 10, we need some plates to go into that. We'll need some rods, so we'll go ahead and throw this into the cutting machine. And that should process plenty up there. I don't have anything down below here, do I? No. Nothing that's all too useful, at least. If we get these, then I can throw them over there, and that'll give us our 4 curved plates. And then if I go get my rods back, we can go make those rings really quick. So I think you need 1 rod for each ring. And again, you could use a hammer for all this stuff, but it's going to weigh on your durability. And somebody did make a good point. You can turn your ingots into double ingots for essentially free in the forge hammer. And then you can forge that down at kind of half the durability cost on your hammer. So it's not as egregious as what I was making it out to be, but also I didn't know that that was a possibility. Or I mean, I guess I could have figured it out because it's right there in the crafting recipes. I do remember seeing the double ingots. I just never thought to look into the processing result of it all, I guess. I assumed if you were processing double ingots, they were going to charge you double as much, but you know, it's my bad there. I will say there's quite a bit of things that I overlook in this pack just because they're maybe the light isn't shed on it the best. All right, so we're gonna need some steel stuff. Sorry, I'm running out of inventory room here. Guess I don't need any of this stuff there. I was pretty sure we had a lot of steel rods, but I mean 13 is not a lot necessarily. But I can go ahead and process some of those into the rings that we need. How many rings? I just need the one. I need 4 steel bolts. That should be all done. We're gonna need 20. No, we need 8 of the curved plates. That's fine. Do 4 there and 4 there. There's the steel ring. And then just the bolts, and we should be good to go. And honestly, that's probably good enough. We'll throw this in here 8 times, I guess. And how many do we need? We just need 4. Okay. So yeah, we'll be good after all that. We'll be able to craft it up. I think the only thing we're really missing is the rotor and the battery part. There we go. All right, so let's throw this bad boy together. Oh, the steel gear. Of course, we could have just bought that from the villager shop. But that's all right. I ain't gonna fret too much about it. There's 2 batteries, machine, blade, rotors, and mixer. There we go. Mixing and matching. Quest completed. All right, so I mean, I guess I need to start routing our power out in other means, right? So let's go copper. Then I'll just I'll just start moving stuff down this way. All right, beautiful. So there's the electric mixer. Whole lot of stuff to get a little tiny item. But what this allows us to do is to move forward with silicone. To get silicone, you'll need to track down a meteorite. These are easily found by using a meteorite compass. Made by sending a compass through the polarizer. We already did that. Each spawns 9 flawless budding certs. Plenty to get you going. 9 flawless certs. Okay, and then use that plus nether quartz. We're really going to have to end up going to the nether this episode, which I guess is fun. And maybe we can find some piglins. That would honestly be ideal. But, you know, I've not gone to the nether and not had flight. And oh, goodness, there's a pillager right up top here. Are there more of you? Oh, okay. As long as there's not one of you with a banner, I suppose I'm fine. I'm not really trying to start a raid here on the base. All right, let's throw everything back in here because obviously we don't need all of these crafting components if we're going out on an exploration mission. And sure, keep the cables too. How's this stuff looking? I mean, it'll be all right. It will be all right. So, that compass should be done over there. Fluid pipes I want to keep on me. Torches. We have a bed. Do have a bucket of water. Let's get 2 buckets of water, perhaps. Don't worry, cows. Eventually I will do something with you. That I promise. Oh, you know what? I never went over the tablet. We do have the Amadron tablet. So this is something that you get from Pneumaticraft. And you're literally given the items to make this thing in Attack of the Drones. So if you complete the Precious Pressure you'll get these 3 items here, the GPS, the air canister, and the plastic sheet, which is exactly what you need in order to make the Amadron tablet. With this tablet, what you can do is you'll shift right-click on a block, which obviously we've already done here. Oh, you know what? I didn't even need to craft the meteorite compass because I already bought one. What you want to do is place emeralds inside of it, so that way it's got sort of money to be used. And you just right-click with it, and you can pipe stuff in here. Like if the item or the block rather that you right-clicked was a tank, you could theoretically sell diesel or whatever crude oil. I could also supposedly buy crude oil if we were to go right-click a tank. Then I could spend my emeralds on getting some crude oil for relatively cheap. But yeah, there's a lot of stuff you can buy in here. The trades do change every so often. So just keep your eye on that. There's some really useful stuff in here. And stuff that you may want if you don't otherwise have access to villagers. Occasionally it'll sell some pretty good enchantments and so on and so forth. So yeah. This does also give you access to this PCB blueprint, which is what you need to actually progress further in Pneumaticraft. But we're not going to worry about that right now because, well, I'm not trying to progress in Pneumaticraft. I'm trying to progress in AE2, right? So we do have the meteorite compass. Bring this down here. I don't think you have to right click or anything. I think it just always points to the closest one nearby you. So ours is going to be this way, which if I pull this up, I did a bit of exploring, but you know, maybe that's a meteor right there. But this is telling me to go like this way. So maybe there's one closer, but that certainly looks like a meteor hit, right? So yeah, I don't, we'll see. We'll see. It's already nighttime again. Alrighty. So with all that being said and out of the way, our inventory looking relatively good. One thing I do want to look at real quick is there is a slime sling, which, I mean, we might be able to make. How many slime balls does it take to make a... Oh, no, it's 9, ain't it? But if you make the slime sling, you really need to make the slime boots, and you really need to make the glider. So I don't think we're necessarily... Yeah, the hang glider. Glider, Invar, so we can do that. Ooh. Yeah, it's going to be a no-go. I do have bees. We've just not started getting honey from it. But I do have a bee nest here with 3 bees inside. So maybe I should set that up so we can get this hang glider. That would be a really cool and fun way to get around. There's also this collapsible glider, but in order to get that, we need the aluminum. And of course, to get aluminum, we have to go through the EBF, which is putting a block of bauxite in and getting aluminum ingot out. I thought there was another way to get this stuff, though. Maybe it's the electrolyzer. Yeah, you can put bauxite dust in, and you even get some titanium tiny dust. So is this the better way to go then? Is to go with the electrolyzer? Ah, but you need aluminum to get the electrolyzer. So it is the better way to go, but you have to do one to get to the other. Okay. And you know what? Let's actually see about setting up a room for our bees. I think what we'll do is maybe just get some glass. I think I have a campfire somewhere. Did I put it? There it is. I'm gonna say because I used the steam mining drill in order to get the bee nest. I was really questionable about whether or not it would work, but it did. So I, happy go lucky. And then a door. Do I have any extra doors? No, I haven't really. This isn't really the kind of playthrough where you build doors, is it? Not for me, at least. There you go, some classic oak doors. Now, can I customize these in here? I can. All right. Let's do the large glass one, yeah, because that'll look good. I don't know where we'll actually end up putting the bees, like probably in one of these little side chambers. But for the time being, I just really want to get them down so I can get some honeycomb, so I can make the glider. So exploration is a little bit easier. This is going to be all tech. Probably shouldn't put bees in the tech room. They're not the productive bees. They're just regular bees, I think. I believe. Speaking of which, the missions for the bees here in the beginning got taken out and changed. So maybe that's something you want to... Maybe we'll just put them down here. Just go down a little bit. That just take a bucket of water. Kinda. Says it did, but it didn't really. Alright. 2, 3. And this should be more than enough room for the bees. Should maybe think about putting some flowers and dirt down here, actually. Do I have any flowers on hand? That doesn't really seem like something I would be gathering. We got a couple. We got a couple. I shouldn't sell myself so short. And we got that. And let me get my building gadget out just because it'll make this a bit easier. Oops, you know what? What I should have done was mine it out like this. It's all right though. All right, so some dirt, building gadget, and then we'll just line all this up. And that's why I like the building gadget so much, because like, boy howdy, does it make things really, really easy. Yes, I could make this glass look different in one of the chipped mods, but I'm not going to worry about it for right now because this isn't a permanent setup. This is just something to get the bees going, right? Now, it looks like there is honey in here as well. Do I have any iron on me to make some shears? I don't. I'll be right back, guys. Don't leave, please. I don't know why I thought I'd look in there. Shears? Have I made any shears? I've not made a single pair of shears. 15 digging speed. I don't know why you'd want to dig with a pair of shears, but hey, whatever. To each their own, I suppose. There we go. Honeycomb has been acquired. So I didn't actually think that there was any honey in that thing, but I guess we might be able to make that stuff now. We need leather though, huh? No, you just need tough fabrics, and we can do that. We can do that all day. I was pretty sure I already made some of these, but maybe I haven't. Maybe I got them placed somewhere that's not there. Alright, so there's 8. And then we just needed 8 surrounding a piece of honeycomb. What is this? Jump cushion. That sounds pretty cool. Anyways, then we're going to get the rat's leather there. And then what else do we need in this thing? Rubber sheet. That's easy. And then what was the other thing? Invar rod. Okay, so let's get... we're going to need technically 2 rubber sheets, right? Oh, wait, does that also mean that I'm going to need... No, we got enough. Okay. And then we'll need 3 Invar rods and 3 Invar plates, which the Invar should be all smelted down and should be backing up our system as I speak. So yeah, I'm glad that we kind of came back around to this glider, and I'm glad that it turned out the way it did. So let's grab that, and indeed it was backing up our system. Oh, and you know what? Gold. Gold will also back up the system because I never actually filtered it through here. It was the only block that I didn't get to, and it's simply because we didn't have any gold to be gotten. So I guess we'll just swap that out. Yeah, because I mean it's not like I'm gonna run out of tin or copper anytime soon, so we'll just throw this in there. All right, so then what did I say I needed? Rods and plates. Rods we can get here. Is it a 1 to 2? And we need 3, so I need 2 like that. And some plates. 3, right? Probably need more than that as far as Invar goes just in the future, so we'll go ahead and make some more plates as well. So there's the rods. Da 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 da. La da da da. There's the plates. Now we can actually go ahead and craft the frame. So that's good to go. And what else did I need? Was that it? And then just these two side pieces? Woohoo! We got a hang glider. Now, the other question I have is with this hang glider here, can I put stuff on it? Let's see. Okay, so it can take unbreaking 3. What about mending? Can you take... That'd really be a nifty one to have. I need some books. Let me get that real quick. Books. And then mending. Was it... Are you mending? Your efficiency. Are you mending? You're mending. All right, there we go. So can this thing have mending on it? It can have mending. Okay, all right. Well, that's really the only two that I care about for the time being. I'm not sure what else it could have, but unbreaking 3 and mending means that ideally this thing won't be breaking on us. Oh, gosh. It is rather interesting to fly, though. I'll say that. It's like more finicky than an elytra, that's for sure. All right, and then as far as slime goes, is this something that I really want to do? So that's 9 plus 3 is 12 slime. We have 19. That's 18, 20. So 20 plus something, some odd amount there. You know what? Let's try it out. Let's see if we can't allow this to do its thing. Ferrocore, where art thou? Let's make 2 Ferrocore swords. And then we'll go take and throw these into the quarry. We'll wait until the next day, though. Though I don't really want to throw these into the quarry just because I know I still need a lot more iron. But, you know, I guess it'll be fun. We'll show you guys and gals how to do this real quick, just in case you have any interest in it yourself. Now, one other thing that I will need to do here is actually pop down into my little chamber here. So that way here on the output, I can set it to blacklist. And that way everything that gets made from the ferrocore swords doesn't go into our big system and accidentally get crushed down or some random nonsense like that. So that should be all good. And honestly, if I'd had the foresight, sorry, then I would have, so yeah, you see it's active, it's rocking and rolling. And maybe when it hits 100, we'll be lucky enough to get something. I think the drop rates are relatively low for this, but it's also, I mean, it's a free mob farm. So let's see. 25% chance for rotten flesh. What's our chance on a slime ball? 20%? That's not too shabby. Bones is 25, spider eyes 10, gunpowder is 8, echo shards 4, XP jelly babies 2%. Phantom membranes 2%. Speaking of which, once you get the phantom membrane, you could also get into what the cluck with chickens, which is honestly something I've been thinking about doing because obviously this can automate quite a few resources for you that you might want, such as nether quartz, right? This could be a really good one. Diamond, emerald, you know, iron chicken. So there's a lot of good stuff here. My big qualm is they made it to where the chickens pass away after so long. They sort of use all their usefulness and then they pass away. So you have to set up a system not only for getting the chickens all bred together, but then also for continuously making the same chickens that you need. So we may get into this. We'll see. We'll see. Oh, wait, what does that thing say? Gives the player a reward for sleeping in the bed. That might be worth it to enchant our home bed. Anyways, but in order to do this, you need to get into the assembler and all that stuff. So we would have needed to get exactly where we are currently. And then you also have to get into immersive engineering, which is not something that we've done. And yeah, so that's probably why I'm pretty much just avoiding that right now. Let's check our chest. It's had enough time. Okay, so we've gotten one slime ball out of it. I wouldn't say that's fantastic, but it's not the end of the world either. Because I think we need exactly 20 to make the slime boots, which honestly we might be able to do with just starting out with those two. So let's see, that and that, that and that. We won't have any way to send ourselves into the air, which is essentially what the slime sling is for. But if I throw these boots on here, I think they make it to where we don't take fall damage. Let's see real quick. Just climb up here. Yeah. So no fall damage. And then if you want to land, I think you can just hold down shift. Okay, but you do take fall damage if you don't hold down shift. Bad idea. Just let yourself bounce it out. Yeah, that's really nifty. So essentially the concept is you launch yourself with the slime sling, you fly through the air with the hang glider, and then you come landing down with the slime boots. Now, how much do I need for the slime sling? It's 9. So we only need 12 more pieces of slime in order to do that. I don't know if we'll end up getting that this episode. I said we were going to go looking for the A2 meteorite, but honestly, it may be a next episode kind of thing, just because I don't think that stuff's going to get done quick enough. But if nothing else, we did make the hang glider. We got into how you can get a really easy mob material sort of thing set up, because I mean, let's be real, this is most everything that you would need from mobs or need in making a mob farm. So we got into Invar, we got into a rat's leather. I should really set up my bees, but that's okay. They will be just fine for now. All right, I can't promise you that that's the last bee joke I'll make, because I know they're kind of B tiered, but we need to get some diamond armor. Honestly, that's something else that I need to work on. And I'm gonna buy some cookies from you just because I would like for you to eventually get all the way leveled up and to where we could buy some golden carrots. That's sort of the dream outcome there, I think. And then we have enough blocks of coal that I'm just gonna make actual coal and go sell it off to the vendors. Hopefully they'll be happy about this. Hopefully this will satiate their desire to want to buy. So, oh my god, you're buying so much coal. Coal is kind of like the new form of currency in this mod pack. I don't know if you've realized, but it'll get you a lot of things if you can only get to that point of having limitless coal. It's used as fuel, it's used as money. It is the world's trading resource. And of course, once you have the villager set up, you don't really have to worry about repairing your tools because you have mending on them, and you can just keep on keeping on. All right, so let's see. I got almost a stack of emeralds. Let's get you leveled up here. The thing is, I'll never eat those cookies. I'll never use them. Oh, you're selling cake. Come on. Don't get me wrong. Cake's fine, but it's not a golden carrot, you know? I will take one. Oh, we're only at expert. I don't know why I thought you were done here. Well, then, hell, give me cake. Does cake stack? Cake doesn't stack. Okay, give me more suspicious stews. These probably don't stack either. They don't. What does this stew do? Hopefully something good. Night vision. I mean, honestly, I'll take it. Whoa! I was trying to throw the bowl and accidentally threw the other stew. That was stupid. Not a very good joke, but, you know, I tried. Sorry, voice crack there. Like I said, it's still dealing with a bit of a frog in my throat, so give me some leniency. All right, 36 golden carrots, and this should do much better than our normal carrots. So that in there. I guess we'll keep one suspicious stew on us, right? You never know when a little night vision might come into play. And cake can be put away. Keep the bowl. I don't need it. Glass. Oops. Books. I think that's, for the most part, pretty good and well sorted there. We got a little bit of fluff in our backpack, but it's nothing too concerning. Also, speaking of backpacks, we need to upgrade that thing to diamond, but in order to do that, I'll have to take everything out and then place it back in. But honestly, it's probably worth the hassle there. So we're up to 3 slime. Yeah, I'm going to say that's probably not happening in this episode, but that's okay to have an episode where we don't necessarily move the earth and everything. Let's maybe just look at upgrading our backpack, and we'll get everything ready for exploring in this episode. And we've made a lot of really useful discoveries, I would say. So all this Invar can go in here. Pretty pipes can. I guess the fluid tank. Like, what am I going to do with all this creosote oil out in the wild? Leave the rat's leather in here, even though technically I think it should go in the mob drop stuff. We'll not be too anal about it. The assembler, I do want to kind of keep that somewhere noticeable. And now, is that everything out of here? That's everything. All right, and let's take this backpack off. We're actually only at iron. What the heck? We have quite a ways to go here. So let's go ahead and upgrade this with gold. This thing's about to get a lot bigger. And then diamonds. I didn't realize we had some diamonds over here too, but I'll take it. And then I don't think we're anywhere near, yeah, because we have to get the smithing template, which is, well, how do you get a smithing template if you don't already have one? Whatever. Point is, we got a gold backpack, and this sucker should be huge. Yeah, much better. So let's just throw everything right the fuck back in. Is there anything that I might have needed to keep out? Bucket of water. Those bronze drills will need to go back in at some point. I think that's all good there. I do have torches on me still. Do I have coal? I have none. Let's get a stack of coal. And we have wood. We have the bed. All right. I mean, I think that's pretty much good for going exploring. We'll check one more time on the slime. Again, I don't think we'll end up doing it in this episode, but we'll probably come back at the beginning of next episode, and that's what we'll do, is go find ourselves a meteor. Still sitting at 3. Not fantastic, but, oops, sorry. Smacking my microphone around. Hopefully I didn't change the position on it too much, otherwise the volume will go either way up or way down. And yeah, I think that pretty much does it for us. Let's get some copper rocking and rolling. This is probably going to be a little bit of a shorter episode, but honestly, that's, like I said, that's okay to not necessarily move the whole world in a single episode. Matter of fact, I don't think we really did anything. We got the electric, or the mixing and matching mixer going, but we haven't done anything else on top of that, because I'm really kind of holding off on the electric blast furnace. You will need LV energy to keep this thing going, and I just don't think having one LV steam turbine is going to be enough to keep a multi-block system sort of rocking and rolling. But from that, we'll get our aluminum and everything moving forward. So maybe just once we get to the electrolyzer, is that somewhere over here? Distillery? Yeah, I'm not sure. But whenever we progress to a certain point, we'll be able to do it. But I'm not going to do the large steam boiler, I don't think. You have to constantly be using it and constantly be using energy in order to make it efficient. And as of right now, I don't have anything that's constantly pulling energy outside of our steam quarry. But it's only pulling, 4 EU per tick, and that's I mean, it's using steam. It's not using real power. So, nonetheless, I digress. One thing I do want to do for this room, one other thing, is sort of replace all this front wallage with glass. That's kind of my idea, is to make it more like an amphitheater almost. How it sort of, it's very large on one side and then sort of comes down and in, and so that's kind of how it'll be. The ceiling will progressively get lower to the ground. I'm gonna fix all this bit because I hate having only a 3 tall ceiling, because whenever you jump you're like smacking your head, and I can't stand that. So I always try to at least go to a 4 tall ceiling just because it feels nice. And you know what? That Enderman, he stayed up there the entire episode. Maybe he will stay up there for the rest of the series in general. That would be pretty cool. If I had a name tag, I would go name him. But you know, with how flighty Endermen are, it might not be the best idea. Speaking of which, best ideas and whatnot, I think one really cool way to end this episode would be to actually use this hang glider for something other than just falling down, you know, a couple feet there. So let's do that, shall we? I hate the fact that I'm making this mountain ugly with all that stuff, but that's okay. We'll go down into the water. And yeah, so like I said, just pretty much has the same flight mechanics as an elytra. It's a little bit easier to steer, actually. There's no real, like, going back up once you're down kind of thing. Also, no durability has been taken from it, so... yeah, I can't seem to sort of get that downward and then upward motion that you get, really, with an elytra. Let's try it from a taller surface. No, but I mean, it does what its name says it'll do, and it glides for you, so... that's still pretty good, and it's going to be real useful once we get the slime sling, because again, we'll just sling ourselves into the air, and away we will go. Let's go and eat 1 golden carrot, and yeah, oh man, so much saturation there. It's beautiful. Are we already out of both ferrocore swords? That was so quick. I don't think there's we are, holy shit. I don't think there's a set rate for how quickly the drills and the swords break. I think it's just like a random % chance. And I think we just got a bit unlucky there, because honestly, that was not a very long run there. We may want to make a couple more and then just throw a hopper on the back with it. So how many more? We have plenty of these ingots, actually. Let's make 4 swords. How about that? 4 swords in 7 years ago. If you don't know what that's in reference to, I would recommend you to pay a little bit better attention in history class. Or, you know, maybe you're not an American and they don't care about teaching you that in whatever country you're currently in, and that's perfectly fine as well. For those of you, I guess, that don't know what I'm talking about, because I'm just speaking in code here, it's the Gettysburg Address, Lincoln. He says 4 score and 7 years ago, because a score is 20 years. So he was saying basically 87 years ago, our forefathers or our founding fathers or whatever he says, you know, because he's going on about trying to rile his troops up and yada, yada, yada. Which, I mean, some say it worked, because that was kind of the turning point of the war. But, you know, I'm not going to get into politics and war right now. That seems like a poor choice timing as far as what you want to be talking about in the middle of a Minecraft episode. So what we're going to do instead is say thank you to everybody for having watched this episode today. I know, again, we didn't make huge progress in it, but we did get some really cool additions, and hopefully y'all picked up a couple additional tips, tricks, and hints as far as moving forward. Oh, one other thing I did want to mention before I forget, just because this is something that, I mean, honestly, like, I'm not sure. Hold on, where was it? One of these, this one, the Atomic Reconstruction. So this quest will open up the chapter on Forcecraft, allowing you to produce power ore and force gems. So you click on it and here you are. Whoa, force, cool. This chapter is not available, I don't believe, anywhere over here, unless I'm just like absolutely missing something. But yeah, I don't see the force chapter available to be previewed or seen or known that it exists in any manner except for right there where it was mentioned by the atomic reconstruction. So I don't know if there's more chapters like this out there where it's like, oh, I mean, yeah, we tell you about it, we just don't show you about it, you know? Maybe my FTB Neotech book needs some kind of an update. I'm not sure, but there's definitely some mods that have not been fully made aware of. Magnet. You know, we can make a magnet. Of course, if we can make that magnet, we could probably make the magnet from sophisticated backpacks. And what's the difference from one to the other? Well, the sophisticated backpacks one will allow you to automatically have everything go into your backpack. So anyways, thanks again everybody for watching. I hope you did enjoy. If so, please be sure to leave a like down below, comment in the comment section if you have any tips, tricks, comments, additional advice, or questions that you may need answered. Share this video out if you have friends, family, strangers down the street that may want to be enamored by a FTB mod pack. And last but not least, as per the usual, I hope you all stay safe, stay awesome, and stay crafting. Until next time, you beautiful, beautiful people. Peace out.